Hello and welcome back to Gapey's Garden. Today we're going to have a pepper update for June, and we're going to start back here with the outside the greenhouse peppers. This is the mini olive rocoto, which is the one that I've been looking forward to growing the most this year. So we've got a lot of flowers on there, but I'm not seeing any pods forming yet. There is one that just lost its flower. I'm not sure where it went. But it might be setting. It's still really tiny, so it's a little bit too early to tell if it'll drop or not. But they are starting to perk up a little bit now that it's starting to get a little warmer and the rain has stopped this week. So we've got that one there, and then I've got a second one over here that's looking about the same. And I still have a couple of lettuces in this bed that I need to harvest, so that is shading them a little bit. So I'm gonna harvest those hopefully this week so that they have a little bit more room. So here's one here that just recently dropped its flower. So we'll see if there's a pod that gets set on that one or not. But hopefully we'll get some pods here pretty soon off of that. Let's go take a look at my pepper cross. So here on the end of this bed is a pepper that I crossed last year, and it's a baccatum annuum cross between a lemon drop, which is the baccatum, and an annuum, which is the gochu. So here we have, this one is saved seed from the gochu pod, and this other one here is saved from the lemon drop pod. And we've got a lot of flowers that are just starting to put out on both of these, but none of them have set any pods yet. This one here just had one open up on the flower, and I saw that it was a white flower with a kind of a yellowish green center, which is typical of a baccatum. None of the flowers have opened up on this other one yet, so I'm not sure what those are going to look like. But hopefully we'll get some pods set on those pretty soon. Let's go take a look at some other peppers we have outside. These are the New Mexican, most of them are New Mexican varieties. So let's go over here and take a look at the chimeo. So this one has the most pods set over here, and they're kind of a weird shape. I'm not sure if this is what they're supposed to look like, but they're a little bit fatter on the tops, and then they kind of get a little bit thinner towards the bottom. But we've got, I think, 5 pods set on that one, and you can see there's been some bug damage on a lot of the peppers that are over here. I'm not sure if it's slugs or the roly-polies or what, but I did put some sluggo down around here a few days ago, so hopefully that will help. And then down here, this one has 2 really nice pods. This is the Estacino, but these plants are so short that the pods are just touching the ground, so hopefully they don't rot. But both of these pods are pretty good sized, so hopefully once I pick those, the plant will get a little bit taller and be more productive. And then next to that we have the Española. We have quite a few pods set on that one. They're all kind of different shape. This one has a little bit of a hook on the bottom. This one looks fairly straight, has kind of a pointy bottom. Looks like it might be turning color here pretty soon. And then behind that we've got the pasilla. And the pasilla is really, I'm not sure if this is what the pods are supposed to look like or not, but the pods are really tall and skinny. But they are touching the ground as well, so hopefully it does feel like the bottom is a little bit soft, which is not good. So I might have to pick that one early, I'm not sure. But that's, ideally you don't want the pods to touch the ground because they could get rotten or get eaten by bugs. And then over here, let's see, we'll do the back one here. This is the orange spice jalapeno, and I'm not seeing any pods set. This one might be setting here, but it's the furthest one back as far as production. Just nothing but flowers on most of that pepper. And then here we've got quite a few pods on. Let's see, this is the Cajun Bell, so I don't think this is a New Mexican variety, but I had room to put it back here with these other guys, so I thought I'd put that back here. So we've got quite a few pods. I think we've got maybe 4 or 5 pods set on this one, and it's starting to perk up a little bit, getting a lot of new leaves, so hopefully we'll get more pods out of that guy. All right, let's go take a look at the wild peppers that I have in a container. So these two here are the tovaris, and I think it's the only one that I haven't seen any flowers on there yet. So hopefully we get some flowers from here pretty soon. But it does look like a really nice leaves and just filling out really nicely. And then over here is the flexuosum, and this thing has been loaded. So check, yeah, flexuosum. So this guy has been putting out tons and tons of flowers, but the pods are so tiny on here, it's hard to tell if there's any that have set. You can see some little guys in there, but yeah, those are really tiny pods. So we'll have to see how long it takes to get some ripe pods off of that one. But I've got 2 of those. And then I've got 2 more. I moved the cardinaceae inside the greenhouse because look how tall. It's just really tall and skinny. And it was really windy outside a little bit ago, and it was just kind of flopping all over the place. What I should do is put a cage around this guy so it doesn't. I actually had one branch break off right here. But it's pretty spindly. It does have a few little tiny flowers on it right there. So hopefully we'll see some pods on this guy soon. But yeah, I do definitely, I think, need to put a cage around this just so I don't get any more broken branches. But it has, the wind has died down, so I'm gonna go ahead and move these back outside. Here we go. All right, now we can get a better look at the greenhouse peppers. So I think my best looking pepper so far is the Aleppo as far as the plant goes. But I did add a couple cages to some of the peppers that were getting pretty tall, and the Aleppo is one of them. And I think it's pretty close to the tallest pepper so far, but it's just really filling out really nicely. It's got tons of, look at that nice looking flower there. It's got tons of flowers. It does have one pod I think I showed in the last update that's kind of hidden. I don't know if we could get a look at it. This is the only pod that's on it so far. You could see that. But it's a pretty big pod. I'm not sure why there's only one. Oh, we got another teeny one back here. So I think this is going to be a really productive pepper. It's looking really good so far. And then in front of that we have the Peppa Peach, and we're getting lots of pods forming on this one as well. They're kind of an interesting shape and color. So they're kind of getting a little bit purple and green. There's another one up here. But it's growing kind of, I did put a cage around it, but it's wanting to grow really wide. So I might have to trim off the end of that just so it doesn't get into the other pepper plants. I'm gonna try, and this one is growing up straight, so I might try to force that to grow a little bit taller. And then over here we have the apple crisp, and I'm not sure we have any pods set on this guy, but this is another one that I put a cage around because it's just getting super tall. And yeah, I'm seeing lots of flowers, but I don't see any pods yet on that one. And then I have my bush beans that I planted in here, and they're getting a little taller than expected. So they are shading out some of the peppers, but hopefully they produce some beans here pretty soon, and then I'll be able to take those out. And then next here we have the shishito, which is the most productive so far. So I counted the pods on that one yesterday, and there are 26 pods, and they're good sized pods too. And I actually harvested, I think 5 yesterday because they were starting to turn a little bit red, and normally you want to harvest shishitos when they're green, but the best way to eat those is grilled with some oil, and that's how I prepared them. But just tons and tons of pods, a really nice pepper. And then we've got the sweet banana pepper. So that's the only pepper that I didn't start myself. I actually tried and failed. None of the seeds I had germinated. So I got this from a friend that's not too far away, but it's got lots of nice sized pods on it already. So hopefully we'll be able to harvest some of those here pretty soon. More beans. So I've got beans kind of in between each of the peppers, and they're not even flowering yet, so I'm hoping they don't get too much taller. And then we have the violet sparkle, which I think is about almost ready to harvest. I don't think they're supposed to turn red. I think they actually stay purple, but I've got two really nice, the other one is back there, really nice pods on this plant, so I'm looking forward to harvesting that. And in the back we've got the Black Orchid Cafe, which is a Thai variety, and we've got lots and lots of purple pods, and I think these eventually will turn red, so I need to find out if they're best picked when red or purple. But they start out kind of green, and then as they get more light they start turning purple, and eventually they'll be all purple like this one, and then maybe turn red. We'll see. And then in front of here we've got the orange ripple. So this one is actually, I think this is the only chinense I have on this side of the greenhouse. All the rest are on the other side, but we have, pretty sure, oh there's a pod right there. So we've got little pods. They're kind of almost like a pointy bonnet shape. I think we had another one back here somewhere. Oh, there it is. There's another one right there. So that's a fun one that I'm looking forward to trying. And then we have, let's see, what is this guy? That's the bulldog paprika. Kind of a funny name for a pepper. But we've got a few little pods set on there. There's one there, and then this one is a couple of them back there. There's a little bit bigger one there. So we've got, that's going to be another productive one, and I might have to get some more cages, we'll see. And then here I've got a couple of gochu varieties this year. This one is the Cheongyang, and this one is a really long, skinny variety, a lot thinner than the one I grew last year, and a lot thinner than the other variety that I have got growing in here. So let me go to the other one. This one here is the Lady Choi, and you can see how much fatter and bigger those pods are compared to the one next to it. But this guy's got, it's a teeny tiny little plant, not even a foot off the ground, but it's got, I think, 5 really nice sized pods on there, and this one is touching the ground just barely, so hopefully it turns ripe here pretty soon so I can get those picked. And then we've got another one here. This one is the Mira Polish White, and the flowers on that are really nice. They're, I think, pure white, but it's a really pretty flower. Oh, we've got a big pod back here. I think this is the only one that's formed so far, but it's kind of a little bit goofy looking, so we'll see how the rest of the pods look. And then that's it for this side of the greenhouse. Got a couple tomatoes back here as well. And let's take a look at the other side. I've got a couple eggplant in here, and again some bush beans, and these bush beans are even taller than the ones on the other side. I mean, these are above my knee. They're pretty crazy tall. So, oh, and actually I did get some ladybugs in here, I think a month or two ago, but I've been seeing a lot of ladybug larvae in here. I don't know if you can see that one here. There's a little ladybug larva on this leaf, and I've been seeing them a lot on this side, a lot more on this side of the greenhouse than the other side. But this one here, and I had that curly leaf problem in the last video on the chinense varieties, and I'm still seeing it a little bit, but it does seem to be getting a little bit better. This one is the till, but you can see there's still some curling happening going on in some of these leaves. But the newer leaves, I think, are looking a lot better. They're looking a nice green and not as curly. So hopefully the problem is resolving itself. And then behind that we've got the white ghost, which is, it was getting covered up by a big lettuce that I had growing right here, which I just recently harvested. So I think that was kind of making it not grow so well. And we've got some leaf damage from bugs on there, which I think are the roly-polies that I had in here, which I've been using the Sluggo Plus to take care of that problem, and I think it's getting a little bit better. But we're seeing a little bit better leaves coming out with the new growth, so hopefully the the curling problem is getting resolved on that as well. And then here we've got the pink tiger peach boot cross, and the purple leafed varieties didn't have any problem with the curling leaves, so we're just waiting for some flowers to open up and pods to set on most of these guys. I don't think there's very many pods set on any of these yet. And then here we have the giant habanero. You can see how these lower leaves are getting all chewed up by the roly-polies. But we've got, I don't think there's any pods set, but there's a lot of flowers forming kind of along the stem. But none of them are setting pods yet. And then here is the other purple variety of growing. This is the Tennessee Blackout. But it's looking really nice. Lots of nice leaf growth. As long as these beans get out of the way, they should do pretty well. And we've got the Peach Star-Kissed. So both of the King Star crosses that I have, the Peach Star-Kissed and the Scarlet Rose, had the worst problem with the curling leaves. But even these guys are looking a lot better than they were last month. I don't think there's any... Oh, there is a pod set back in there. There's a pretty good one. I didn't see that until just now. Oh, there's actually 2 pods in there. That's pretty cool. And then the Scarlet Rose is the other one, which is the sister cross of the Peach Star-Kissed. So this is the red version. And this is also a sister or cousin of the Lemon Starburst. So this one is, again, the leaves on this one were curling pretty badly, and they're looking a little bit better. I'm not seeing any pods set on that one though. We do have a few flowers in there. And then the last pepper in here is the contest pepper that I'm growing for the pepper lovers community. It's a bubblegum contest, and the pepper I chose to grow is the bubblegum crossed with Tabasco. I thought that would be a fun one to try, and it hopefully be a lot productive, because Tabasco peppers are really productive peppers. But the peppers on it don't look very Tabasco-like, so I'm not sure how productive it will be. But they're kind of a little bit bonnet shaped, it looks like. But it'll be a fun pepper to grow nonetheless. Anyway, that's all we have for peppers in the garden. Oh, can't forget about the pepper in a can. So I've got 3 peppers in a can up here, and the one that's doing the best is this little guy. This is the, can't even remember, the Black Onyx. So it's got lots of, actually we have a few pods set on there. So the pods are purple just like the leaves, and the flowers are also purple. Got little tiny flowers there. But that one is looking the best so far. It's in the Bad Granny cider can. And then the next one that looks pretty good is this guy here, which is the New Mex Twilight. So I do have a stake in this one because it's growing really tall, and I wanted to keep it straight. But the pods are all here at the top, and they kind of start out yellow. You can see these little guys back here, and then they start turning purple. So this is a nice looking one. I did lose a lot of the lower leaves. They're just kind of turning yellow. I don't know if it needs more fertilizer or what, but it doesn't look too terrible. But the Ahi Charapita is in this other one here, and it's just looking really bad. So I'm not sure how well this is going to do. I don't see any pods set on it yet, and a lot of the leaves are turning yellow, and some are getting these little black spots. So I'm not expecting this one to do all that well. But I've got a support stake on this one as well. But I'm going to try increasing the fertilizer and seeing if that will help any. Okay, so that is it for the peppers. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.